talking Auburn sports, and the hot topic right now is obviously the basketball team for the Auburn Tigers, who have advanced to the Elite Eight after beating North Carolina 97-80 in the Sweet 16. Now, one of my thoughts just kind of shifted me over to the fact that, you know, people may want to talk about this as being a Cinderella season. I just don't want to insult the Auburn Tigers and all that Bruce Pearl and his staff has worked for by making the connotation that this could possibly be a Cinderella year for Auburn, because when you look at the recruiting classes from the last few years, Auburn has actually landed some very high-level recruits including Austin Wiley, who is, you know, among the top recruits of all time for the Auburn Tigers, 99 average rating, 5-star recruit. You know, and a couple of other guys who are highly rated as well. Jared Harper, 95, recruit out of Atlanta, Georgia. So this is something that has been in the making for the Auburn Tigers. So to say, we're not going to say, you know, that Auburn, this is a Cinderella season, because when you look at Gonzaga back in 1999, that was the true epitome of a, you know, Cinderella season. You know, not too many highly recruited guys playing over their heads, playing, you know, just the best ball that they could possibly imagine to just barely beat teams. When you look at the Auburn Tigers, you know, defeating Tennessee by, you know, double digits, kind of struggling with New Mexico State, who, if New Mexico State would have made that same run, then yes, New Mexico State could have had the whole Cinderella argument. But Auburn squeaked by New Mexico State to beat Kansas by double digits, and then now to defeat iconic North Carolina by double digits. This is no Cinderella team. This is a team that in early, you know, February decided in that game where, you know, Chumo Kiki made that 3-point shot to win that basketball game against Georgia to start this whole 11-game winning streak. You're talking about a team that progressively got better based on what they knew they had anyway, okay? Because when you look at the stretch before the Georgia game, you're talking about an 8-7 run in 15 games with the prospect of barely making it to the NCAA tournament. But that 3-point shot and that moment in time gave Auburn the opportunity to ride an 11-game winning streak and continuing to get better at the things that they lack. Like, when you think about the things that they lack, oh man, they could shoot threes galore, you know, but at the same time, when you talk about making a long playoff run, you have to adjust your strategy. And one way that they were able to do that, even in this North Carolina game, 24 points came inside. That's something that Auburn wasn't accustomed. That kind of production wasn't something that Auburn was accustomed to achieving. Okay? Also in this ball game, you look at, you know, the fact that Auburn only lost the rebound battle 40-36 and actually tied the rebound battle at 24 on the defensive side, which is very important, because when you make defensive boards, you limit those second chance opportunities. And that's how this game started to stretch out against North Carolina. So we're not going to play this whole Cinderella narrative with the Auburn Tigers, because that's not where this team is. This is a team where Bruce Pearl, who is an award-winning coach, has won 2 SEC championships, has won an SEC tournament championship with Auburn. He actually has 2 forms of an SEC championship at Auburn, tournament champions in 2018, SEC outright conference champions in 2017. So this is not a Cinderella type situation for the Auburn Tigers. And as we go into the next game against Kentucky, which will be an Elite 8 appearance, Auburn is trying to dodge a 3-game losing streak against Kentucky, losing to Kentucky 3 straight times, one by only 2 points, but the other by double digits. And that's something that Auburn is really has put behind them. You can tell based on their approach to the North Carolina game, this was not a Cinderella type approach. They approached North Carolina as if, hey, we have a strategy and we can actually win this ball game. We know we have to score points inside. We know we have to continue to create turnovers. We know we have to do better on the boards. And guess what? These guys did that. So like I said, I just really don't want this narrative to start to where Auburn is no, this is not a Cinderella team. This is a very, very good basketball team that deserves to be in the Elite Eight because of their talent and the way the adjustments were made. They did everything possible that they needed to do to compete against one of the best and one of the most balanced teams in the country in North Carolina. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like, and comment, because we got a lot of good stuff going on in the comment sections of these videos. War Eagle.